All right, so installing on Linux. Depending on your distribution of Linux, you may have different installation steps you need to follow, and the Postgres docs really run you through for each and every major distribution what you should do. As you can see here, we're running Ubuntu. So let's go to the Ubuntu page. And down here you can see that the Postgres apps repository supports the LTS versions 1804 and 1604. So depending on the version you're running, you may have different things you need to do. So it says create the file etc apt sources list pgp and add the line for this repository. So let's go and do that. So let's copy this and let's go into terminal. Let's clear out here and let's do nano and let's paste the path that we just copied. And then let's copy in this line over here. And let's paste it in there. And then let's save it. So the permission is denied. So one thing we need to do here is we need to run this with elevated permissions, meaning we have to run it as a sudo user or a super user. And so then we go ahead and we copy and we're saved. Then the next thing we do is we import the repository for signing and updating packages. So let's copy that and let's paste it in here. And then on your system, it may run a little more elaborately. It may be that I already have it. Then let's sudo apt get update just to make sure we update everything and we have the most recent packages. So once we've done all that, we're ready to install Postgres SQL 11. And so let's do that. And so then let's continue. And this is basically configuring everything for Postgres 11. All right, so our Postgres install is complete now. We've installed Postgres 11. So to log into our user account, what we want to do is sudo -u Postgres, and then we run the psql command and we give it Postgres. And that's how we get in. And so if we did /l+, you can see here we have a template DB, we have our Postgres DB, and we have our template one database. So we're ready to rock and roll. We have everything we need in order to get started and import our databases. So just remember that all you need to know for this course is that you need to run anything above Postgres 10. So whatever is supported by your major Linux distributor, just install that version. As long as it's above 10, you should be just fine. 11, 12, doesn't matter. And so now that we've got that all set up and we know the command to log into our Postgres, we're good to go and we can start importing our data. Now, the other thing we needed to download was ValentinaDB. So if we go and we look up ValentinaDB, you can see the first link linking to ValentinaDB. And if we go into download, you can find the download for Valentina Studio. Now, feel free to use whatever other database management software you're comfortable with if you do know one, but we are using ValentinaDB throughout the course. So if you go into view files here, you can see that there is a distribution for Linux, Debian installation, and an RPM installation. And since we are on Debian, we'll install the Debian. So let's do that. Open with software install. And so once this is done downloading, we'll go into a software installation for Ubuntu and we'll press install. And I have to give in my password. So now that Valentina Studio is installed, what we can do here is Valentina. Let's go back here. It was there. vStudio. They call it vStudio. They've abbreviated it. So this is an unregistered copy. You can get a free serial code by filling in the information over here. For right now, we're going to run without it. And so as you can see, because I'm running in a virtual machine, it's already connecting to my Postgres instance outside of my virtual machine. So let's delete that real quick. And let's try to connect to our local Postgres. And so that's connected at 5432 on the Postgres. And we just fill in the password that we usually fill in, which is root. And so let's try to connect from there. And so as you can see right here, the authentication failed because there is no password, and you're supposed to supply a password. So what we actually need to do here is /password for the user Postgres, and we'll enter the new password root, and we're good to go. Now let's exit this, and then let's go in here and let's fill in root. And there we go, we're good to go. So as you can see, when we installed Postgres by default, there was no password associated with my Postgres user. So as we can see here, we don't have any databases yet, and so we still have to import those. So let's get to it.